Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be celebrating Karina with her movie, Chispa. Let's take a look at the clip. Karina, thank you for coming from Portland, Oregon to be here.
I'm so thrilled. It's been amazing.
Well, welcome to the New Filmmakers Los Angeles family. We're so proud of you and the film that you created for us. So many questions. It was so electrifying last night, but for those that haven't seen your film, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, thank you all so much for having me. This has been an incredible week with all the panels and workshops, and then the screening last night was just, wow, it was really electric and remarkable.
Fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was so fun. But yeah, Chispa, Chispa means spark in Spanish. It's a black and white horror film that's about this Latina electrician who goes to a shopping mall to repair a junction box. And when she gets there, she meets this sexist security guard that really just gets under her skin. But she she gets to work, she starts repairing this junction box, but when she's repairing it, she's electrocuted and knocked unconscious. And when she wakes up, it's night in the mall, it's dark, and she is like, there's a pulse kind of moving through her that causes her to undergo this transformation that's expressed through dance. And through that transformation, she transforms into this beastly creature with big teeth and glowing eyes. And the security guard comes across this creature and is basically terrorized for the rest of the film. The film is a revenge fantasy. I love films where, characters, particularly women, are pushing up against an institution or a person in order to stay true to themselves. And that's very true in Chispa. Luz, the main character, she's dealing with this security guard, but in some ways she needs to let out all of that anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did all that, Karina. You did all that and more. Like, honestly, all the details that you wanted to put out there, you did that so wonderfully in this film. And I'm just a bit obsessed with your incredible imagination and where you took us and where this, goodness me, it's so nice to see a film I have never seen this before. This is incredible. This is amazing. And this whole idea and this style and where you took us on this journey, it was, malls are scary enough as it is at nighttime anyway, but this was brilliant. Where did this, obviously, there's a basis to this story of just, pushing out against these, misogyny and all these kind of people, especially petite people in who have an idea of what a role should look like and what it actually is. And I love the revenge part of it as well. But where did this story encapsulate? Where did it all kind of unfold for you?
For me, this story, it came out of this place of Roe v. Wade had just been overturned. Yeah. I'd been working for 3 months, prepping to direct my first campaign, and that ended up falling apart through the agency. But during that experience, I had been dealing with male coworkers that kept undermining me. Yeah. And so, when that project went away, I was kind of at a low, and my therapist actually suggested I just write something that was fun. And she was like, what do you have, what could be a good location? And I knew about this mall that was really open to artists. So I was like, what could be set at a mall? And so that kind of became the first nugget. And then I also met Muffy Delgado Connolly, who plays Luz, who's the lead. And she had cold emailed me and was just like, hey, if you ever want to collaborate. And so I knew about this incredible choreographer that was Latina. And so those were the things that kind of were percolating at the time. And I think I just, wanted to put everything that would just, it was my first time directing a short film on my own, and I just wanted to put everything that I loved and would be so fun in my sandbox. And so it was dance and a creature, and I was just black and white just seemed really fun. And and it was dealing with topics I was really kind of curious about the mythology of people transforming into creatures. I think there's a Shakira song called She Wolf.
Yeah.
And I was like, what does this mean? What is this all about? And I started to learn that the she wolf stems from, people, oftentimes when women are changing, when they're breaking the gender norms in society, it can be scary to other people. They see us as monsters, but we need to keep on being as fabulous and amazing as we are.
Yes.
and taking up that space. And so that was really like kind of like an aspect of it that I was just like, oh, I like love that this is already kind of tapped into this mythology of the transforming into a creature. And I just went for it, and then got really fortunate, and I met a producer from Fujifilm at a film festival, which was kind of just wildly universal. The universe is magical.
It is. The universe is magical. There's a good reason that all comes together.
Yes. Yeah. And I was at a film festival with a short documentary, and I met this producer for Fujifilm, and she asked me what I was working on next, and I pitched her Chispa, and just the universe, just like the wheels got moving, and then they came on board, and it was just it all was like a really magical journey, and just so grateful to be here and have this experience with an audience. It just such a nice
it's what you deserve, and it's what it's all about. And when you've got all these amazing collaborators that have come together and the universe has aligned you all, there's no surprise, but it's so gratifying because you're like, I made this for an audience. I made this for the big screen, and here we are. There's so many multiple layers and depth. Like, I can't believe this is your first film you've done, yourself. Like, incredible work, honestly.
Thank you.
Because and how was this experience directing for you? Because you had this amazing choreography. You were shooting at night. You had all these elaborate scenes. You create a monster. Like, how was this experience for you?
So my journey to getting to this was like, my parents are both from Mexico, and they were really skeptical of American television and American cinema, so they didn't really expose me to a whole lot growing up. But I have like a rebellious spirit in me.
Never lose it.
So when I got to high school in Dallas, Texas, there was a film class, and I was like, ooh, what's that? I want to take that. And so I signed up for the class. And then that following semester, I got my course load, and I wasn't in the class. And I was like, oh, that's strange. I know I signed up right on the first day. I should be in the class. So I contacted the counselor, and she told me like, oh, sweetie, this class ain't for girls. And I was just like, that's strange. So I went and spoke to my father about it. And my father contacted the counselor, and that following semester, I was in the class. And so when I got in the class, I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. What is all of this? And I just felt like, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And there was this moment where the instructor asked who wants to direct a talk show. And I don't know what came over my body, but my hand raised up, and I was like, I want to direct the talk show. I didn't even know what directing was. I was just like, my body reacted before my brain did, was like, you need to do this. And I directed the worst talk show in the history of talk shows, but I had an absolute blast doing it. And I just loved the team aspect of it. I loved how everybody was bringing their skills. And I think I just was like, oh, this is amazing what we're doing here. And then I learned about just the power of cinema and how it can change minds and create empathy and really shine a light on different stories. And I just became obsessed. And, the industry hasn't been super supportive to, historically marginalized communities, particularly women and people of color. So for a long time, I got pushed more towards the producing side. So I've produced for a long time. And, 5 or 6 years ago, I was just like, I really want to get back to directing. And so I just pivoted and was just went hard. And, documentary was where I had kind of been before, but it was I really wanted to do a narrative short. And I'm just so proud and so grateful that this is where my journey is taking me. It feels right in this way that I see all the skills I gained as a producer and how I was able to apply them as a director as well. But I've also learned so much. I really think of myself as like a coach on set. When I get to set, it's just the absolute best. It's like,
yeah,
I'm
where
like,
you belong.
it's where I belong, but it's like also just like, I love prep. I love really getting myself prepared for what are the options? How can I do this? What are the different things I could do to like make this shot list shorter, or like if something changes. And so when I get to set, I'm just like so excited for the challenges ahead for the day and to engage with my talented crew and cast to tell the story. And so it's just a lot of fun.
What a journey that you've been on, and amazing that you've also had to overcome a lot of these microaggressions throughout your life, from studying in Dallas and being told there's no space for you, to the microaggressions in your workforce as well, and all of those things, and then just shining a light on this character and these people, and you being in the hot seat as a director as well, which is so special. But then be part of New Filmmakers, where you got this a line of incredible array of amazing all-female directors. Like, how was that experience for you at the festival, and just kind of being part of this super incredibly group of storytellers that were all female after everything that you've been through? Gosh,
yeah. I mean, I think that like to be a part of this experience at New Filmmakers LA, it's just an absolute dream. I think like to be surrounded by women non-binary directors, it really does change your brain. Like it's not something you get to see that often. It's very few spaces that we get to take up. And so for all of us to be together in this talented collective and get to connect over the course of the week, it's so beautiful. And I feel like I've made connections that I'm gonna keep for a long time.
That's what it's about. Absolutely.
And so it's really powerful and necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, we're so grateful. I mean, over 50% actually make up of identify as female in our directors anyway throughout the year. But it's so special to have an in focus, especially in Women's History Month as well, to have a real in focus of what that is, and especially the storytelling. Like, I mean, this story had so many multiple layers. I was literally watching it alone with my cats, getting scared at the hell of this monster that was being created. They ran away a few times. Like, you created this world for us that was so magical, and I wasn't ready to like leave it. So where are you taking us next, Karina? I hope it's the first of many things of where you're going to take us.
So I feel like for me, the next project that I want to do is definitely direct a feature. And I've had a lot of success, with Chispa got into the second round of the Sundance Producers Lab, and then I have a new project I'm developing that also got to the second round of another lab. So feel like I'm so close to getting into a lab with a feature, and I feel like it's really important to develop your projects before you head out for financing. But then, looking to get a project off the ground as my first feature, and just trying to figure out which project is, going to spark that thing that takes it to the next place.
I'm well done for already going to say I'm going to make my feature next. I mean, that's incredible, and I'm super excited of whichever journey that you take us on next. For anyone watching that is like, you've probably heard something that you shared with us, and they've got a burning desire to make their own project, and they feel up against the wall against so many different things in their own personal experience. What do you say to filmmakers out there that want to follow in the footsteps of articulating their story?
I think for me, finding that one person that can hold me accountable in getting moving the project forward is the first step. I think it's become that thing that like I search for with every project, is like, who's that person that's gonna keep me going forward? And that's kind of like the game I play, because I'm the type of person that if it's just me, I need community immensely. I think it's like maybe the Latina aspect of me. Like, I need people around me to, keep me going. And I think writing can be kind of it's a solo exercise, but there's other way, being a part of a writer's group, or just finding people that, will maybe read your script, and like finding those people that like can help you get the project a little bit further. I think this work, it's a lot of little steps. And so the other aspect I always try to do is just break it down. And just like really, really like just super small like aspects where I'll just be like, just write the log line. Like just write.
Begin with that.
Just write with that. Just write like whatever character you're wanting to write about today. Like I really give myself a lot of grace, because I think there's a lot of aspects with just getting started that sometimes that can feel like you have this mountain of this idea of what you want to accomplish, but like you need to just like do the one little step that's going to get you closer. And yeah.
And here you are doing it, you know what I mean? And I think the universe aligned you with the most amazing collaborators. So I know that for your future, it's going to continue on the way that, you know, you started this part of your career. So thank you for being here in person. Thank you for being part of New Filmmakers LA. And we're ready for your future, okay? No pressure. But thank you very much for being here, Karina. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been incredible.
Thank you.
Seriously, like so moved by what y'all are doing here with this program and the showcase and just all the thought and care that went into it. It's incredible, truly.
We couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Karina, everybody.